You know, I'm trying to kind of fill up my pantry shelves, and I like to can a recipe in a jar, basically, you know, a meal in a jar. So all I have to do is open it and heat it up. And in times of emergency, that's really good because it saves you. If you think of if you have dehydrated food like Mountain House or one of those, that's great to keep in your supply, but you have to add water. Well, in this case, I don't have to add water. Everything is ready in my jar. However, I decided to make some packaged rice, so I do have to add water. But anyway, this is a new recipe I'm trying. It's called sweet and sour chicken. And it says you could make it with pork too, which I think would be very, very good. But it's a new recipe. I've never tried it before. So how do I know my family will like it? And the recipe calls for making 5-quart jars. Well, I decided I'm going to cut it in half and make 5-pint jars. Because really, 1 pint makes a meal for my husband and I is just fine. And what happens if we don't really like it? Well, then I only have half of the recipe, right? But is this one of those accepted recipes found in the Ball book or something like that? No, I got it off the web. But I'm not really a rebel canner, but yet I use common sense. And in this case, it's using cooked chicken, pineapple, peppers, and onions, all things that I've canned before in a pressure canner. So I see no problem with this recipe. But always, if you're risk averse, then you might not want to try this recipe. Now, I'm going to show you how to can it, but then at the end, I'm actually going to make dinner and see if I'll can it again. So stick till the end of the video to see what I think of sweet and sour chicken. So in here I have 2 1/4 pounds of already cooked chicken, and I have 1 green pepper cut up, a half a red pepper, a medium onion, maybe a little bit bigger than a medium onion, cut up in chunks. And I have let's see here, 20-ounce can of pineapple. And I've drained it of the pineapple juice, and I've added enough pineapple juice to make 1.5 cups of juice. We have 3/4 a cup brown sugar, 6 tablespoons soy sauce, and we're going to be using 4 tablespoons of ketchup, and 1 teaspoon, says fresh ginger, but I'm using this ginger here, and 1 1/4 cups of white vinegar. And of course we need, right, 5 of these pint jars, 5 rings, and 5 lids. Now let's get started. Now in my 5-pint jars, I put in chicken at the bottom, then the green pepper, then the red pepper and the onions, then the pineapple, and then finally the leftover chicken on top. And you want to push that way down in, push it tight, and then we're going to be adding our sauce. So in our pan here, we've got our brown sugar, our ginger, our white vinegar, our ketchup, soy sauce, and pineapple juice. We're just going to get this nice and warmed up. I'm going to do this until the brown sugar melts. Be back. So our brown sugar is all melted in our sauce. Now we want to pour it into our jars. We'll probably be back because it'll soak in a bit. Use our debubbler tool, which, you know, I packed it pretty firm, so yeah, we're not going to get a lot of bubbles, I don't think. There we go. Now we've debubbled. Now we want to wipe our rims. And yes, we should have an inch a head space, which some of these might be a little bit over. And we'll see how it works. Okay, put on our lids. Now finger tight. Finger tight our rings. There we go. Wasn't that easy? Now let's get them into the canner. Just put them on our little stand. I've warmed up the water, which has a little white vinegar in it, so these don't get cloudy. Okay, so now we're going to wait until we get a nice stream coming up, steam out of that vent. Be back. Well, I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but nice steam. So now we're going to time it for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been venting for 10 minutes. And now at my elevation, I am going to put it on 10 pounds. Okay. Now we're going to wait until that comes up to the 10 pressure, and this starts doing its little jig. Be back then. Okay, it's starting its little jig, and now we're going to time it for 75 minutes. Timer just went off. I'm going to turn off the burner, and we got to wait until the dial gets down to 0. There they are. Don't they look lovely? And all the jars are sealed. Kind of turned out a pretty color. Now remember to label it. Sweet and sour chicken, $6.21. So tonight it's going to be a really quick dinner. Package of teriyaki rice and our sweet sour chicken. And we get to see how does it really taste. Let's pop the top off. Nice sound. Now I want to drain this juice off it. So I'm pouring this back in here. Just adding a little cornstarch. And about a teaspoon and a half. Mix that in really well. Okay. Put our lid on here. Turn it down to simmer for 7 minutes. So while we're doing this, we want to warm up our meat. Just gonna let this warm up on here. Still looks pretty good, doesn't it? Chicken's a little bit darker in color, probably because of the soy sauce. But our pineapple now has a deep yellow color. You still see a little of the red pepper and green pepper. So we're just gonna let this warm up a little. Now we're going to add back in our slurry here. We want this to thicken up around the meat. Oh, that's it now. It's nice and thick. Turn this on. There you have it. We got the rice and we got the sweet and sour chicken. Now, let's do our taste test. Looks good. Smells good. Let's see how it tastes. Piece of chicken here and rice. Very pineapple-y. Let's try a piece of pineapple, talking about pineapple. Still a little crunchy and very juicy and very good. This is really quite good. Maybe I'm going to wish I would have canned in 5 quarts instead of 5 pints, but this is good. I will make it again. It will be a recipe that will remain on my pantry shelves. You know, it's an incredibly quick recipe to make. You got a busy, busy day. You come home, you grab a jar of the sweet and sour chicken off your pantry shelves, grab a package of teriyaki rice, and you can have dinner on the table in less than 10 minutes. And a really good dinner too. So yes, I recommend canning this recipe, and I think your family will love sweet and sour chicken. As always, please subscribe, share the knowledge, and thumbs up if you like this video. Please comment below if you've already tried this recipe and what you think. Thank you.